Most welcome to yet another video, and for those who need to read the moves or the video timestamps, please open the description and you will find it all there. This is the first video in a new category. I call it Capablanca Masterpieces, and we will go through some of the classical games, both because it is nice to get a bit of education, how things have developed over the years, over centuries, and also the Capablanca's games are still considered very good games. You can learn a lot from them. But of course, under the eyes of the modern chess engine, of course, every grandmaster, even the best players of today, are severely criticized. But yeah, that is a new part of modern chess. But still, if Capablanca would have shown up at the tournament today, he would have performed very well, I would say. Probably not at the super highest level, but still on a very high level. He came from Cuba. There are a lot of talks about how he learned about chess. Some say that when his father was playing chess with a friend, Capablanca liked to watch the games, and at the age of 4, I think they used to say, he started to point out other ideas and criticize his dad and his friend when they were committing mistakes. He was absolutely a super talent, and but nevertheless, it took a while. If I remember correctly, he was born in 1889. He became world champion in 1921. So at that time, he should have been 32 years old, approximately. Maybe people thought that he would remain world champion for long at that time. He seemed to be dominating the chess world. But his time on the throne only lasted 6 years. In 1927, he was defeated by no one else than Alexander Alyechin in a classical fight. A lot of draws, very long match, but Alyechin finally was the champion. And one has criticized Capablanca that he was unable to work on one of his main drawbacks, actually, his laziness. When I was a kid, one of the few chess books that was recorded on cassette at that time was Capablanca Chess School. And he didn't fail to write such things that, I was so good player, although I spent more time playing bridge or tennis than working on chess. And he also maybe that was a bit with a blink in his eye. He wrote that what really does in this position does tell that black should be clearly better, besides that his name is Capablanca. And we can see even in the game that we discuss first that he plays intuitively very well. He also calculates well, not extremely far, but very precise, and checks a lot of things. At the same time, sometimes he maybe thought that he could just continue playing decent moves and then it would be okay. And then he overlooks small tactical tricks also. And in 1938, he was still in the elite in a tournament in Avro. I think we will have a look at this game either on the Capablanca masterpieces, because it was masterpiece, but he lost against Mikhail Botvinnik, that became world champion in 1948. And some people say that this game illustrates the turn from kind of, let's say, the classical talented amateur era into the professional, the more scientific study of chess that Botvinnik represented. I actually had the honor to meet Botvinnik before he died, not playing, but just say hi at the World Championship in Moscow 1986 for visually impaired. I also actually played Max Oewe, who was world champion from 1935 to 37 in a simul in the Olympiad for visually impaired in Noordwijkerhout in the Netherlands 1980 when I was 13. So this is a somewhat long introduction. In the first game, we are now back in 1913, and white is Kline, K-L-I-N-E. I have no idea how that should be pronounced, probably not like I pronounced it, and Capablanca is black. And I will just show approximately the first 20 moves pretty fast, because those videos have tended to get longer and longer. And for the purpose I am showing it, those parts are most at the end of the game, the second half of it approximately. So here we go. Let's see. White plays delta 4. White plays delta 4. Capablanca replies with knight foxtrot 6. Knight to foxtrot 6. White plays knight foxtrot 3. Knight to foxtrot 3. And black plays pawn delta 6. Pawn to delta 6. White plays pawn Charlie 3. Pawn to Charlie 3. And black's developed knight Bravo delta 7. Knight Bravo to delta 7. Black now aims to play Echo 5. So white tries to make that more difficult by playing Bishop Foxtrot 4. Bishop Foxtrot 4. Black wants to put the queen on Charlie 7, thereby competing about the Echo 5 square. So we played pawn to Charlie 6. Pawn to Charlie 6. White played queen to Charlie 2. Queen to Charlie 2. Maybe preparing for pawn to Echo 4. Black now played queen to Charlie 7. Queen to Charlie 7. White went for pawn to Echo 4 as expected. And black also pushes in the center pawn to Echo 5. Pawn to Echo 5. White retreated with the bishop. Bishop Golf 3. Bishop Golf 3. And black develops his dark square bishop. Bishop Echo 7. Bishop to Echo 7. And white continued bishop delta 3. Bishop to delta 3. Black castles kingside. Castles kingside. White plays knight Bravo to delta 2. Knight Bravo to delta 2. actually keeping both ways to castle open. Black plays rook echo 8, rook to echo 8, and this move is probably has many purposes. It can support the pawn on echo 5, and also frees the foxtrot 8 square, so that the knight from delta 7 can retreat and then jump to golf 6 or echo 6. At the right moment, of course. White played castles kingside, and black played knight hotel 5, knight hotel 5. And the position I think is about equal. Black wants to drum up some play on the king side, but white has no weaknesses, some space advantage in the center even, and no weaknesses. So here it is a tricky thing. If you are the favorite in the game and your opponent plays decent moves and nothing special is going on, then there's always a risk that you push too hard if you want to really show that you are the strongest guy. Then you can actually overdo things and lose instead. White played knight to Charlie 4, knight to Charlie 4, a decent move also. Black played bishop foxtrot 6, bishop to foxtrot 6. White played knight to echo 3, knight to echo 3. And I think it is a good idea from white here to transfer another piece to the king side. Now it is in the center, but it is possible that the knight can in the future jump to golf 4 or foxtrot 5. Black played knight foxtrot 8 as we expected when we saw rook to echo 8. Now echo 5 is sufficiently protected, and the knight now probably aims at foxtrot 4, or maybe golf 5 also. It depends on how things develop. He can go to echo 6 or golf 6 from foxtrot 8. White captured, delta takes echo 5, and black takes delta takes echo 5. I don't think it is something, not a really bad move, but still white had the space advantage, and now he gives it away, and I don't see exactly what he gets in return. I think white should have played on the queen side, maybe pushing pawn to alpha 4, bishop Charlie 4, taking more space than activating the pieces a little bit. But maybe white is suffering from the pressure playing against this super talented player, Capablanca. White played bishop to hotel 4, bishop to hotel 4, and black played queen to echo 7, queen to echo 7. White played bishop takes foxtrot 6, bishop takes foxtrot 6, and black recaptured queen takes foxtrot 6, queen takes foxtrot 6. Here we can see that black has, or white has helped black a little bit by exchanging this bishop on golf 3 for the one on foxtrot 6. I would say that the bishop on foxtrot 6 was not a good piece. It was blocked by its own pawn on echo 5. whereas the bishop on Gol3 was a good defender on the king side. So I think it really didn't make so much sense to spend 2 tempi exchanging a slightly inferior piece on the bishop on foxtrot 6 for, yeah, quite decent piece, the bishop on Gol3. If black would have captured on Gol3 with the knight earlier, before this exchange of bishops occurred, then it is often the case that it is good for white to take with the foxtrot pawn, because then white would have get the half open foxtrot file, and then maybe use the Golf pawn for further attack, Golf4, Golf5, knight foxtrot 5. Yeah, such things could come up. So there was never really a threat. It was not that white shouldn't have been shaky, thinking that soon black will get the bishop pair by taking on Gol3. Okay, the bishop pair would have been decent enough, but white would have gained some activity. White plays knight to echo 1. Knight to echo 1. A somewhat passive move. I still would have liked some activity on the queen side. Alpha 4, bishop Charlie 4, and such things. Black played knight to foxtrot 4. Knight to foxtrot 4. Splendid position for the knight. Garry Kasparov, a player who many think might have been the best player in history, and who I think almost everyone agrees should at least be one of the 3 best players in history. Yeah, a lot of people say Magnus Carlsen is the best player ever. Maybe Kasparov is number 2, and Bobby Fischer number 3. These are all good candidates. Kasparov used to say that if you, as white, got a knight on foxtrot 5 and as black on foxtrot 4, then you are about a pawn up, because the knights are so strong on these squares. But yeah, it depends on the position. It's not really that we would say that black is a pawn up here. Stockfish gives black a slight advantage. White plays Golf3. And this is probably not the best move. White takes on more weaknesses on the light squares. So, and white had a pretty solid position. Could even have played king to hotel 1 here in order to, if necessary, play rook to Golf1 to overprotect Golf2. But that is easier said than done when you are not playing yourself. You should play it cool only when Capablanca's pieces are looming up on the kingside horizon. Black played knight to hotel 3 check, knight to hotel 3. And yeah, black played knight hotel 3 check, and white played king to hotel 1, king to hotel 1. And here, black played hotel 5, pawn to hotel 5. I think this is a little, not the very best move actually. Not horribly bad, but black has put a well-placed knight on hotel 3, thus thereby gaining some space and some initiative, some pressure on the king side. A very central theme for this video is that you often have to play on both flanks. And here, black is actually lagging in development. The rook on alpha 8 and the bishop on Charlie 8 are not really contributing right now. So I think that moves such as bishop echo 6, pawn alpha 5 could have been better moves based on the logic that Capablanca himself uses in the game. I suspect that Capablanca maybe still thought that, okay, let's just kill the guy on the king side and I can go home, maybe play some tennis, flirting with some nice ladies, and not bother about this game. So 10-5 is not a very bad move, but it would be better to broaden the horizon a little bit and thus make it more difficult for white to protect the king side if you also can start do some small things on the queen side. You have to be patient. White played knight 3 to golf 2. Knight 3 to golf 2. Black played golf 5. Golf 5. I absolutely don't like that move. So you can ask, I should put a timestamp here. You could ask why Magnusson chose this game if he's only criticizing black that much. Yeah, I think black, without any special reason, takes on a weakness on Foxtrot 5. So that gives white some more possibilities for counterplay. And it is not realistic that you break through just storming on the king side like that if white really doesn't help you. And at the same time, you take too much risk by playing in this way. But okay, we haven't yet reached the part that is most important for our study, so let's continue. White played Foxtrot 3, pawn to Foxtrot 3. And black played knight golf 6. Knight to golf 6. I think even knight echo 6, planning knight Charlie 5 and pawn to alpha 5 would have been interesting. But again, trying to broaden the battlefield a bit. Nothing happens on the queen side. It would have been more difficult for white to defend if you improved your piece positions on both flanks. White played knight to echo 3, which is actually a tricky move. Black played pawn to hotel 4. And here, put another timestamp. Here I would say black has had an advantage of maybe for a while 0.6 pawns according to Stockfish. When it lower when black played golf 5, Stockfish didn't like it either. Of course, I'm influenced by Stockfish and I also think things. But here we are down to equal. Black has thrown away all that he gained bit by bit. And white doesn't need to do some things. In the game, white played pawn to golf 4, but that weakens the Foxtrot 4 square. And then it is again more difficult to play for white. The knight on golf 3, on echo 3, was very well placed as it could, at the right moment, go to golf 4 and maybe drum up some counterplay instead. So white was a bit too nervous here, I would say. white played Gol4, and that is what I criticized. Then you return the favors, so to say, giving. Yeah, I think knight to Gol4 would have been the better move directly. Actually, knight to Gol4. Black doesn't want to take on Gol4, of course, because Foxtrot takes Gol4 would mean that you then can drum up some play on the Foxtrot 5 with the rook. So knight to Gol4, then black actually has to play queen to Hotel 8. And you can improve your position a little bit by white, like king Golf2. Yeah, I think white can have a slight edge here. Maybe even a bit more than slight. Alright. Black, after white played Gol4, played knight Hotel, Foxtrot 4. Knight Hotel, Foxtrot 4. And white played Rook, Foxtrot 2. Rook, Foxtrot 2. Yeah, after Rook to Foxtrot 2, we reach a very interesting position. It is noteworthy that Stockfish is keen on, for example, playing queen to Delta 6 here, bringing the queen to Charlie 5, and then also build up an attack on the queen side. But also bishop to Echo 6 is a fine move. In the game, black played knight takes Delta 3. Knight takes Delta 3. And here again, black's advantage disappears. This can be actually quite a bit comforting for us mortal players, that we see that even the top players in chess history, at least when they are scrutinized by the strong chess edges, they build up clear advantage and then fail, so it gets equal, and then build it up again, and so on. It's not easy to play chess. Here, for example, Alex Jolovich remarked that knight takes Delta 3 is a logical move. I don't quote him or anything, but he referred to a principle, I think first coined by Mark Dvoretsky, another major theoretician, who said that when you have two pieces aiming for the same squares, they are standing in the way of each other. And the knight on Foxtrot 4 that's captured on Delta 3, yeah, it wanted to be on Foxtrot 4, but the knight on Golf 6 also wanted to be there. So they are doing a bit the same job. So from that perspective, it was logical to capture on Delta 3 and then bring the next knight to Foxtrot 4. So it's not bad thinking at all, but yeah, both these knights had good positions, and white was a bit cramped here. So sometimes it is better to keep pieces on the board, continue taking more space on the other flank instead. But chess is a complicated game. Often one principle stand against another. White recaptured. Knight takes Delta 3. Knight takes Delta 3. So, and black developed finally. Bishop Echo 6, something we have asked for long. White played Rook Delta 1. And also white finally has managed to develop the last piece. And black played rook echo delta 8. Rook echo to delta 8. And this is a classy move. You might think that, why not bring the alpha rook to delta 8? Then I would have developed all pieces. But yeah, on the one hand, the rook on echo 8 didn't do so much. But the rook on alpha 8 could, when black pretty soon should advance with pawns on the queen side, for example, alpha 5, then that rook on alpha 8 could be considered developed. At least some people say that if you have a rook on its original square and move the rook pawn 3 squares, in this case it would be up to alpha 4, then that piece, the rook, can be considered developed, because things will happen there. And yeah, you can activate it also by rook alpha 8 to alpha 5, had the pawn advance to alpha 4. Here, white committed a slight mistake, which is very easy to do. Played pawn to bravo 3. Pawn to bravo 3. The only move, it seems actually, the only move that keeps equality would have been knight to foxtrot 5. Knight to foxtrot 5. And here we see the drawback of this little over-ambitious push pawn to golf 5, somewhat like 10 moves ago. The knight of foxtrot 5 is, of course, very well placed, and it blocks black's pressure on foxtrot 3, because that is really a weakness that will be painfully felt in this game in the long run. So knight to foxtrot 5 would keep equality. White could then continue with knight Charlie 5, double rook on the delta 5. And actually, if black pushes bravo 6 when a white lands, a knight lands on Charlie 5, in such position, white could even play knight to bravo 7 and then land it on delta 6. But we see that white has a difficult task now. When he doesn't use the weakness in black's position by playing knight to foxtrot 5, he will start to suffer because he has a weakness on foxtrot 3. And the move bravo 3 makes it easier for black to open play on the queen side. And one of the major principles that I am hinting on in this game, and I'm doing, as you probably are completely fed up hearing it already, that is that you have to broaden. When you have some advantage on one point, usually you have to get advantages at least so that you at least got 2 of them. Here, foxtrot 3 is a weakness, and if we can keep pressing that one, as well as creating another weakness on the queen side, then the advantage would be transformed into victory. Bravo 3 then makes that easier. Black can now start to think of pushing alpha 5, alpha 4. It would have been better to play alpha 3, because it's also understandable that white didn't like to all the time have to look, check up whether black in the future could play bishop takes alpha 2. If there would be many exchanges, for example, on delta 3, the queen would stand on that square, and then black could capture on alpha 2. So bravo 3 protects there, but helps black in increasing the activity on the whole board. Alpha 3 was a better option than Bravo 3, but Knight Foxtrot 5 was the better one, because then white also plays actively at the same time as he prevents black from pressing Foxtrot 3. Black played Knight to Foxtrot 4, Knight to Foxtrot 4, and white played a weak move, Knight Golf 2, Knight to Golf 2. But the position starts to get troublesome for white. Playing it as a human being is very difficult, simply. And we will see that the problems white faces in this position, they might not look that great, but they are really serious. We will see it how the game develops. Black played Knight takes Delta 3, Knight takes Delta 3, and white played Rook takes Delta 3, Rook takes Delta 3. Sometimes I maybe say black instead of white, I'm sorry if that happened. Black played Rook takes Rook, Rook takes Delta 3, Rook takes Delta 3. And white played Queen takes Delta 3, Queen takes Delta 3. And here I think you can take a little pause and think of what you could have played in this position. Capablanca played probably too quick, still a little bit too sure of that he would win just by playing normal moves. But yeah, you know better than that. So take a pause. Yeah, black played Rook Delta 8. That is not a terrible move, but Bishop takes Golf 4 would have been even stronger, because the Rook on Foxtrot 2 will hang if white plays Foxtrot takes Golf 4. Capablanca, when he commented on the game himself in the book later on, I think it was My Chess Career, he said that Bishop takes Golf 4 would not be so good, because if Golf takes Hotel 4, then white can play Rook Golf 2 with good counterplay, and that is correct. But it is not very difficult to see that after Knight takes Hotel 4, black can simply play Bishop Charlie 8. This is actually Stockfish suggestion. First Rook Delta 8. Rook Delta 8, Queen moves to Golf Echo 2, for example, and then Bishop Charlie 8. And then white remains with serious weaknesses on the H file. So Stockfish's idea after Bishop Charlie 8, Rook Delta 8, Queen Echo 2, Bishop Charlie 8, Knight Golf 2, white has to move the knight, and then just moving the king maybe to Echo 8, so that the king is safe, and then can start playing both on the queen's side, but also on the hotel file. So, but Capablanca played Rook Delta 8, which is also keeping a very big advantage. So it's not that very big. Bishop takes Golf 2 had given 1.5 pawn up, according to Stockfish. Rook Delta 8 1.37, so it's almost the same. But his comment was a little bit sloppy in his book later on. White plays Queen Echo 2. And black now plays a very important move. Pawn to Hotel 3. Pawn to Hotel 3. Pawn to Hotel 3 is it shows deep understanding, real deep understanding, I would say. The pawn takes control of Golf 2, which makes it more difficult for White's king to get into safety. For quite long, there will be motifs of Black putting White in checkmate on the first rank. And that is a tactical factor that Black can use, and in that way increase the positional advantage. For sure, the pawn on Hotel 3 can be attacked by White, but as long as Black keeps the initiative, then, as we will see later on, when the pawn falls, Black has already broken through on the queen side. So, Hotel 3 is a very important move. White played Knight Echo 3. Knight to Echo 3. And here Black has many good moves. Queen Foxtrot 4 is also a very good one, I would say, because in many situations Black can come down to Charlie 1 with the queen, and White would be more like paralyzed on the first rank, and then Black sooner or later could cash in on pawns on the queen side. The Queen Foxtrot 4 would be good, but Black plays Alpha 5. Alpha 5. So, Alpha 5, that is a very strong move. And it shows the principle that I mentioned, that you should play on both wings. Even Bravo 5 would have been more than okay here. Both those moves are good. But yeah, about the same strength as Queen to Foxtrot 4. White, on his hand, tries to swap off the rook that dominates the delta file for his pretty passively placed rook on Foxtrot 2. So he goes for Rook Foxtrot 1. Rook to Foxtrot 1. And here, Capablanca shows real class. He sees that White wants to exchange the rooks, but he now starts to calculate very well. I have been quite harsh with him, calling him a bit lazy sometimes when he has overlooked things and made it a little too played a little bit too banal, I would say. But now he shows precision in the way he uses his advance on the queen side, which actually makes it very difficult for White to play Rook Delta 1. Black plays Alpha 4, pawn to Alpha 4. A very strong move. And if White would capture on Alpha 4, yeah, then White would remain with two very weak A-pawns, and the Alpha 4 pawn will fall, and then the Alpha 2 pawn would continue to be a serious weakness. Yeah, Black could, for example, play Rook Alpha 8, and even maneuvers like after Rook Alpha 8, if White, let's say, plays Queen Charlie 2, also caring about protecting the Alpha 2 pawn, Black probably could have played Queen Echo 7, I would say, for example. Probably you could maybe even play Bravo 5 in such a position, because if you play Alpha takes Bravo 5, then it comes rook takes alpha 2. Rook takes alpha 2, threatening the white queen, and then, yeah, black probably can follow up with queen to foxtrot 4 with a tremendous attack on the white key. I didn't check that with the Ng, but that is, I think, pretty easy to calculate. All right, white played pawn to Charlie 4. Pawn to Charlie 4. And you might notice that he didn't play rook delta 1. Rook to delta 1, let's see. I think then black could have swapped rook takes rook, for example. And then white should capture with the queen on delta 1 in order to protect bravo 3. Black can then take alpha takes bravo 3. White has to play alpha takes bravo 3 as well. And let's see if I recall correctly here. Here it might seem that bishop takes bravo 3 would win easily, because if white takes queen takes bravo 3, black can takes queen takes foxtrot 3 check, and then queen takes echo 3. So, yeah, after rook delta 1, we imagine that black exchange it, rook takes rook, queen takes rook, alpha takes bravo 3, alpha takes bravo 3. And here I think actually both that bishop takes bravo 3 wins. I had to double check it. But queen to foxtrot 4 is also very strong. Queen to foxtrot 4. Yeah, and white has the problem, so having weakness both for foxtrot 3, bravo 3, and the knight on echo 3 is also attacked. But I had to check also, that was why I paused for a few seconds, that after rook delta 1, Stockfish also gives rook alpha 8 as winning. That is more sophisticated and complicated. I think just to go more directly, changing rooks and take on bravo 3, play queen foxtrot 4 would be far easier for a human to do. So, but as those threats were present, white played Charlie 4, and that means that white got another weakness, and that is the square on delta 4. So black played rook delta 4, rook delta 4. And of course it is nice to have it there, both, in general it is an active square, but black also now gets delta 8 freed, so he can put the queen there. So white played knight Charlie 2, knight to Charlie 2. Black retreated, rook delta 7, still keeping delta 8 free. White played knight echo 3, knight to echo 3. And black played queen delta 8, queen to delta 8. And now we see that black threatens rook delta 2, so white has to do something about that. He plays rook delta 1, rook delta 1. And Yeah, I think black could very well have continued with, let's say, alpha takes bravo 3, alpha takes bravo 3, queen bravo 6, for example, putting more pressure on bravo 3. But the way Capablanca played it also is very, very good. Rook takes delta 1 check. Rook takes delta 1. And white played knight takes delta 1. Note that if white had played queen takes delta 1, then black could use the delta 4 square with the king. Queen to delta, not with the king, with the queen. Queen to delta 4. And if there would have been exchange on delta 4, black plays echo takes delta 4, thus getting the free past d pawn. And then black easily can then just move king foxtrot 6, king echo 5, intruding probably on foxtrot 4. But you always, also in such endings, have possibilities like playing bravo 5 and maybe even putting the pawn on alpha 3 later on, playing bravo 5, and then there will be threats of when the Charlie pawns exchange on bravo 5, black can play bishop takes bravo 3, alpha takes bravo 3, and then push alpha 2. There are many different things that white has to defend against at the same time in this bishop versus knight ending. So after knight takes delta 1, black anyway played queen delta 4. Queen to delta 4. And now we also start to see threats like queen alpha 1 coming up, paralyzing white pretty much. But okay, for now the queen stands excellent on delta 4. White played knight foxtrot 2, knight to foxtrot 2. And here we come to the point, you might remember that long ago, I don't remember which move it was, about 23, 24 or something, black pushed pawn to hotel 3, which I praised, but also noting that such pawn can be attacked, and now it happens. But only when black has developed an attack on the other wing. So white might win the hotel 3 pawn, but lose the game nevertheless. Black pushed pawn to bravo 5. Pawn to bravo 5, a natural way of breaking through. White played Charlie takes bravo 5, Charlie takes bravo 5. And black recaptures captured of alpha takes bravo 3. Alpha takes bravo 3 first. Of course, threatening in bravo takes alpha 2, so white has to take. Alpha takes bravo 3. Alpha takes bravo 3. And black played bishop takes bravo 3. Bishop takes bravo 3. And here you see this thing that I mentioned before, the first rank problem, caused by that the pawn is still alive on hotel 3. If white would have pushed on with, let's say, bravo takes Charlie 6, white could have played queen to alpha 1 check, and white is lost. White has to play knight to delta 1, and bishop takes delta 1 would follow, with mate in a few moves. So instead, white played knight takes hotel 3. Knight takes hotel 3. And black plays bishop delta 1 first. Bishop delta 1. It makes a lot of sense to play like this. you foresee that you will get a passed pawn on Bravo file after black plays Charlie takes Bravo 5 in the future, and bishop then you move the bishop so it wouldn't stand in the way of the pawn, and now you attack the queen on Echo 2, who has to protect Foxtrot 3. Otherwise, white would be checkmated if bishop takes Foxtrot 3. So, queen to Foxtrot 1, queen to Foxtrot 1, and Charlie takes Bravo 5. Charlie takes Bravo 5. So, still, they are equal pawns, but black, after all those moves and play on the king's side, eventually it turned out that he could transform this into a passed pawn on the queen's side, which decides the game. White played king golf 2, king to golf 2. Now Foxtrot 3 is protected, so then white actually threatens, the queen takes Bravo 5, so black pushed, pawn to Bravo 4, and white played queen to Bravo 5, queen to Bravo 5. And here it is easy as a human being to think, now the game is over. I win easily, I can play whatever I want. And that is probably what both white and black thought about the position here. But it is actually far more difficult than one could believe. Capablanca makes a very understandable mistakes. He commits an understandable mistake by pawn to Bravo 3. Pawn to Bravo 3. And that is a very, very deep mistake, I would say. A better move would have been queen to Charlie 3, to attack on Foxtrot 3. And then if white would play knight takes golf 5, you can always play queen delta 2 check, and then take, capture on golf 5. But here, actually, we come to a resource that white has that I think almost no human would see. White here could play knight Foxtrot 2. Knight Foxtrot 2. Threatening the bishop on delta 1. And if the bishop moves to Bravo 2, to Charlie 2, black has two ways to draw the game. One is spectacular, that I will just hint on it. That is actually knight to Tel1. Knight to Tel1, and if black plays pawn to Bravo 2, knight to golf 3, and then white actually can drum up an attack that is sufficient for a draw, because you have such threats like queen echo 8, check, and if the king goes to golf 7, you have queen, knight to Foxtrot 5 or hotel 5. This is really spectacular. If you wouldn't be that fancy after knight Foxtrot 2 and bishop Charlie 2, you could play, for example, queen Bravo 8 check, king to golf 7, and queen to Charlie 7. And it turns out that black cannot push Bravo 2, because then comes queen takes Charlie 2. And black's queens has to remain on a square protecting echo 5, otherwise white gets counterplay again by queen takes echo 5. So this could actually have turned everything. Knight foxtrot 2, what a fantastic move. So what we can learn from this is, don't start to think how you should brag about the game in the bar after the round with your friends. Don't think that you would tell the girls, I just killed him easily, I didn't even need to think, because you didn't think, you actually didn't win, but only drew the game. So that is the sense morale of this. Okay, white overlooked it and played queen to echo 8, queen to echo 8. And the game then ends like we could have expected. King golf 7, king golf 7, yeah, the king was in check. White plays queen echo 7, queen echo 7. Black plays pawn to bravo 2, pawn to bravo 2. Not bothering so much if white can check a few times. White played knight takes golf 5, knight takes golf 5. And here it might look really scary, but you have the resource, and that is important to foresee, of course. Bishop bravo 3. Now the bishop comes back and defends foxtrot 7. White played knight takes foxtrot 7. Black captured, bishop takes foxtrot 7. White played queen golf 5 check. King foxtrot 8. Queen hotel 6 check. King echo 7, that's a classy move. You will see why. King echo 7. Queen golf 5 check. And now black goes king echo 8. And by this little trick, go into echo 7 so that white had to go to golf 5. Now makes king echo 8 really strong, because white has no more checks, because golf 8 is protected by the bishop of foxtrot 7. So white resigned. What we can sum up from this game is that when you start to get a little push on the king side, like Capablanca did in this game, maybe you should not do as he did, overextend with golf 5. Instead, play more again along the principles that he himself demonstrated so well in the end of the game. Starting to play on both wings. Also develop your pieces, play on the queen side as well, instead of running like a drunk sailor with the golf ball. Later on, we saw the classy Hotel 3, which kept white's king in a vulnerable situation all until knight takes Hotel 3 happened, and then the game was already lost. Other things we should remember was this way of opening files and finally get a pass pawn on the queen side, starting with maneuver pawn to alpha 5. So I hope that you also enjoy this game. This game has been analyzed time after time after time, all since this was played in 1913. And strong players like Anatoly Karpov, for example, the former world champion, said that, I have to go back again and again to the games of Capablanca really to improve my strength. And that is told when he was world champion. So, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for now.